Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Be nice here in North Carolina. A little cool yet, but still Carolina blue skies.
Yeah, we're right now a nice sunny 32 degrees. But you know what? At least it's sunny because in Pittsburgh, it's partly cloudy, as that's for our good Pittsburgh fans out there. And our topic today is the wealth illusion curve. Why the first 10 million feels powerful and the next 10 million feels fragile. What is the wealth illusion curve, right, Alan?
Neil, it's funny, but it's a psychological shift that happens as wealth increases. Early wealth feels like expansion, more freedom, more confidence, more options. Later wealth often feels like exposure, more responsibility, more complexity, more risk, more taxes. The problem, the illusion is believing the money, skills, security, literally, but it doesn't. The more you get, the more poor you are.
Yeah, and that's interesting, and people don't think that. Then they work, especially if they're a business owner, Alan, and they're working their butts off to hit that first million, and then when they're hitting 10 million, especially let's say their doctor's office and all that, say, what do I have to look at the more money I make? People think the more money you make, the more money you have, and it's really not true at a certain point.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so why does the first major wealth milestone feel so empowering?
I wished I went back first 10 million, but it's because it removes constraints. You pay off debt, you gain time, you feel untouchable. But at that stage, the system isn't paying much attention. Complexity is low. Structure is simple. It feels powerful because it's light.
When we make our first 10 million, Alan, that'll be awesome. So why can larger wealth start to feel fragile instead of powerful?
Because understand that scale introduces visibility, governance, we discussed that last week, family complexity, taxation, huge taxation problems, institutional dependence, and decision weight. Now, you no longer just own money. You manage exposure. The number is bigger, but the degree of freedom doesn't necessarily increase. In fact, it decreases because you're more responsible for a lot of other things, possibly a lot of other families.
It's really interesting, Alan, when you start thinking about this, because I this blows me away before we go to this next question, because think about these athletes. They get so much money so fast. They pay off all their debt. They get all these different things together, get mama, house, and all these different things. But then they get to a certain point and the money goes and they have no plan for what they're going to do with that money. So that's why they felt this freedom, but then they let their guard down, it sounds like.
I'll tell you, it'd be a nice problem to have, though, wouldn't it, Neil?
Yeah. See, Alan's going to happen. Is there fragility real or psychological, Alan?
Psychologically, the fear of loss increases as numbers grow. Structurally, margin of error shrinks. A mistake at 50,000 or 500,000 K is recoverable. A mistake at 50 million, that attracts consequences. Wealth amplifies consequences.
Do you think they feel invincible when they start making that kind of wealth, Alan?
What's that?
Invincible. If you're seeing these people, these high net worths, that they feel invincible and they don't understand how money can disappear fast.
Well, the way they do, but like you said, people don't understand. It's hard making that first 10 million. It's easier making that 20 million, but it's more complex. And they don't all understand all the risks that are involved.
So why don't people talk about this shift openly, Alan?
Because culturally, more money is supposed to equal more security. Admitting increased anxiety at higher wealth levels, it sounds like ungrateful or irrational. But privately, many high net worth individuals feel it.
Well, I think that the competitor in an entrepreneur is to keep striving to the highest level possible. And you just don't stop. I saw a podcast with Tony Robbins and Alex Hormozy, and they were talking about their pain when one's a billionaire and the other one is close to a billionaire. And I'm like, okay, we really are feeling bad about your problems. Seriously, but it's true. There's more money, more problems sometimes. What's the solution once someone crosses that illusion curve?
Then you shift from accumulation thinking to structural thinking. Instead of making, how do I grow? You ask, how do I reduce the fragility of this product that I've got right now? That means governance, coordination, flexibility, and intelligent design. The goal isn't more money, it's stronger architecture. It's like I tell everybody, you got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, make one. If you do have a plan, improve on it. That's why I'm saying people with this kind of wealth, they need a stronger architectural structure. Have the base build on that. And it's just like when I talk with people about retirement, you got to have a base to build on and stack your blocks on top of that.
And I start thinking about it, Alan, when you talk about this, I think that the problem is that everyone has handouts. Once you start making so much money, the people around you are going to charge more. The people around you are not going to look at how I'm going to look out to pay less tax and look out for your money. They're just looking, they just have a handout. That's why you got to work with people that are truly seeing the importance of your interest and growth.
Absolutely.
All right. And you don't charge for your consultations, Alan, so talk about that.
I might charge it. People make $10 million. I might charge them, but I don't charge my consultations. All educational. I'm very passionate about what I do. And you can always call me at 910-551-1046. You can go to my website, which is www.strategicwealthstrategies.com. I have a plethora of information in there for all walks of life, whether you're making $50,000 a year or $50 million a year. But my Gmail is strategicwealth0@gmail.com. And I want to talk to people because I want to show them the way to think outside the box of conventional financial planning and do what the wealthy and the banking institution have been doing for years.
No doubt. And just think, if some of the wealthy don't know these tactics, like Alan, you've been trained in how the wealthy knows these tactics, because I'm telling you, I was speaking to a very wealthy individual before on that, and they don't even really think that they have to pay that much in tax. And think of all these athletes, Alan, and I was on the call, they don't get crazy. It. They're paying so much in tax. You saw the quarterback, how much he ended up paying in California just to play in there for 7 days. His whole bonus went away.
That's crazy.
Sam Darnold. So that's the craziness of the difference. So those are the guys with $10 million. All right. That was the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.